Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla. This is a video that I've been wanting to film for a really long time, but I have been nervous to put it out there because this is something that is not talked about a lot and a lot of people don't know about it. You know, a lot of people will not understand and I have to accept that, but I just wanted to put some awareness out there of this because I went my whole life not knowing I had it. I'm gonna be talking about and opening up about my eating disorder, and I never thought I would have an eating disorder. And this isn't the type of eating disorder that's super like conscious of your body. When we think of eating disorders, we do think of anorexia, bulimia, and all of the above. But there is an eating disorder called ARFID, and I am going to get into what I've struggled with my entire life and kind of just give you the story in order of what I struggled with, how I found out, and what I'm doing right now to deal with it. Life has been easier since I found out I had it, I will say, but let's just get right into the video because you're probably wondering what this is, or maybe you have it and you can relate to this video. I've been like this since I was a baby. I actually don't know why I have it. A lot of people actually know why they have it, but since I was a kid, I wouldn't eat certain foods. I would get super anxious on certain foods. I would gag over certain foods. And the way that I grew up is, you could look at this as me being spoiled, but like I literally could not eat the food that my parents cooked for me. So they would make me a separate meal aside from everyone else in the family, and those meals would consist of really unhealthy things like chicken tenders, mac and cheese, hot dogs, a lot of frozen foods, pizzas. Pretty much my whole life I've grown up on frozen food, and that's not how I want to live my life at all now as an adult, and I wish I didn't live like that when I was a kid. But I was always super anxious over certain foods, and my whole life everyone just said I was a picky eater, and it affected me so much, especially when I got into high school, when I got into my adult life. In high school, for lunch, my parents also didn't have a lot of money, so I would get peanut butter and jelly for free at school. So that's all I ate every day for lunch was peanut butter and jelly. And there were other things that I would eat at school if like I had enough money to get it. But I mean, most of the school lunch I could eat, but some of it I couldn't. And then when I got into my college life, like my adult life, when I went into college and I moved away, had to cook my own food, I kind of noticed that everybody else was eating a very broad variety of foods, and I had like a couple foods that I ate. I ate Pop-Tarts, pancakes, a lot of sweets, a lot of junk food, and I got super sick in college. And I've actually never told this story, but I actually almost died in college. Why am I laughing? Oh my god. I've never told this story, I don't think, but I almost died in college. I went into septic shock. Long story short, this is a totally different subject, but I went into septic shock and my body was fighting a virus and my organs kind of like expanded and it looked like I was pregnant, and I was in the hospital for quite a while and I was going through it. And after that they sent in a nutritionist for me and said you cannot eat certain foods because your body can't handle it. And I kind of tried to stick to eating a little bit healthier after the fact, but I just couldn't, and so I went back to eating the way that I was. Fast forward until I met my friend Spencer. Still thought I was a picky eater. Everyone thought I was a picky eater. I mean, it's kind of is what it is. It looks like that. And I felt really ashamed because I always wanted to eat the foods that other people was eating. I wanted to eat healthier. I wanted to be a part of a social group that could go out to eat without them being like, oh, are you gonna like this? Should we go here? I was appreciative when those things would happen, but also I felt very pressured. And like, you know, if my friends and I were going out to eat, I would be totally fine not eating at all if it was something that they wanted to eat and then I could just eat a snack later. But I feel like my friends would always just be like, well, what does Kayla want to eat? You know, what can she eat? And it was very frustrating for me because And I know it was probably frustrating for them, but just because, like, I wanted to eat foods. Like, I really did. And I wasn't purposefully being a picky eater. Like, I legit would have an anxiety attack if I ate specific foods, specifically with textures. And my friend Spencer took me to Olive Garden, and he actually, like, played a really big part in my eating habits, because I wasn't eating the healthiest when I lived with him, but he was eating healthy around me, which made me want to eat healthier, so I was trying more foods. And it wasn't until then where I started discovering things. I never ate salad until he introduced me the salad at Olive Garden, and then I liked salad. I never ate pasta until he introduced me the rigatoni at Olive Garden. And certain foods, like, I started eating and I was able to put in my palate. I cut out a lot of other foods when I lived with him, and he really did try to get me to eat healthier, but I think him and I both did not understand what was wrong with me. We just thought that I was a picky eater and that I needed to get over it, pretty much, because, you know, I'm an adult and I need to get over it. And then I moved in with Haruki, and I met Haruki, and this is where it gets a little bit tough because he eats very healthy compared to me. He is Japanese, so he technically has like a Japanese diet, because he's from Japan, and so he strictly only eats really Japanese food. And a lot of things I couldn't have based on texture, especially noodles. Noodles is a big one for me. I will not eat any form of noodle. I like the taste of noodles. I do not like the texture. I will throw up. Another one is like hot onions. Hate hot onions. I'll eat them cold, raw. I hate them hot. It makes me like want to gag just thinking about it. But I'll get into foods that I don't like a little later on in this video. It did kind of like, it didn't hinder our relationship, but we eat separately to this day. I mean, we'll have some meals together, but like we eat pretty much separately, because I don't like a lot of his food and he doesn't like a lot of my food. And that's just kind of how our relationship is. And one day, we were in New York City when we lived in New York City about a year or so ago. We were invited to this restaurant, and they specialized in like noodles. I don't know the type of noodles, but it was like Japanese noodles, and we were offered to go there for free to eat the food and make content out of it. And of course, like free food, you want to eat free food, right? And so I was like, yeah, I'll go, I'll try it. And I looked at it and I just legit felt like I was going to throw up. And it, like, I hate it because like it's nothing like against the chefs or anything. It is literally me. And that's why like I also hate trying foods in front of other people, especially if they cook it for me. I remember this one story. Okay, I'm gonna go backwards a little bit here. This one story where I was in Toronto and it was right before the pandemic hit, and I remember like we were struggling to get like toilet paper and stuff, whatever, and we went to Haruki's friend's house. He was going to make us food, and I was told he was going to make us chicken. He makes it, and I'm told that it's duck. I've never had duck in my life, but the one thing I think of when I hear duck is a duck. I know that meat is meat, of course they're animals, but like I was just like, I can't eat a duck. And I looked at it and the texture, like it looked like chicken, but I don't know, like there was stuff like vegetables and stuff. It was just like the textures. I knew that I was just going to like gag in front of the person who made it. And then all of a sudden I got this such bad anxiety, and I didn't know why, but I'm just in my head, I'm like, I'm just a picky eater, you know, like it sucks. Like I hate being a picky eater. Like I beat myself up over this so much, and I felt like I was gonna cry. So I was like, honestly, like I'm so sorry, I'm actually not hungry anymore. I don't even remember what I said, but I kind of just said that I'm not gonna eat it, and they were filming too, so I felt super pressured, but I was just like, I'm sorry, I can't. So then the guy ended up eating it. I went outside, and this was when I was smoking weed, so I went outside and smoked like a lot of weed, and I came back in and I was just holding back tears, just like staring off into space, like, why am I like this? Like, why do I have to be like this? Like, why can't I just eat the damn fucking food? Like, it's so embarrassing. Back to New York City, when me and Haruki were at this restaurant, I felt like I was going to throw up. I was getting such bad anxiety, and it was like an outside seating area. I wasn't eating any of it. Like, there was all this food, like this was like a freaking feast, and Haruki was eating all of it, and I was just giving him my portions, and there was like this big pot in the middle with noodles, and I just felt like I was gonna throw up. And I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up just thinking about it. And I don't know why, but I never liked spaghetti growing up. I never liked nothing with noodles. I can't. This is like really heavy on my chest, and it sounds so dumb, but like this is what I had to deal with. And so I was just like, I felt like I was gonna cry just sitting at this restaurant, and like, you know, the waiter coming up to me being like, how do you like it, or are you eating? I'm just like, I'm not hungry. And I was like, I'll try it later, like we'll bring it home. It's just really embarrassing, honestly, and I feel bad. Like, people want me to eat the food, but I literally can't. And so I looked up on my phone because I was like, this shit isn't fucking normal. Like, why am I getting anxiety over food? Because it wasn't just me being a picky eater, like, no, I don't like that, no, I don't like that. It was more so like, can't stand the texture of it, will have an anxiety attack if I eat that, will go into panic, feel like I'm gonna die. Like, it was so extreme, and I'm like, this isn't fucking normal, and I couldn't control it. And like, you know, like at the time, like I'm a very spiritual person, I meditate, you know, I'm like, oh, if you don't like something about yourself, you could change it. This was something I literally felt like, how the fuck do I change this? Like, I've been like this my whole life. So I googled anxiety over certain textures of food, and the first thing that pops up is ARFID, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And so I looked into it, and I looked at Haruki, I'm like, I think I have this, because nothing else resonated with me. I didn't resonate with being a picky eater, because of course there's foods that I don't like, but even if I don't like them, I will eat them if I have to. But if it's a specific texture, like, it's not the taste, it's the texture. If it's a specific texture, I will go into full panic. And so I'm just like, is this what was wrong with me my entire life? I booked an appointment with a psychiatrist, and pretty much immediately I was diagnosed. And, well, I don't think I was diagnosed in the first session, I think I was diagnosed in the second session. But a year ago, I was diagnosed with ARFID, and it is Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder. There's different reasons why people get anxiety attacks over food, or just feel anxiety towards food. For me personally, it's the texture. I think that's with a lot of people with ARFID. I can't speak for everybody, but for me it's the texture. And a lot of people have this almost like PTSD of like something that happened to them with food, where they're scared they'll choke on it, or they're scared like something's gonna happen. But for me, I don't remember anything happening when I was a kid. And after I was diagnosed, I messaged my mom, I messaged my dad, I'm like, did I ever choke on anything as a kid? Like, and they were like, no, not that I can remember. And I was like, when did I become a picky eater? Like, when did I start to not like certain foods? Was there a specific moment in time where you were like, wow, she's picky? And my mom told me it was straight out of the womb. Like, literally, like, as soon as I was born, as soon as I started eating baby food, I wouldn't eat certain things. Also, another thing is, I hate mushy foods. Will not eat mashed potatoes. Will not eat, like, stuff that are, like, mush. Feel like I'm gonna throw up. Yeah, so I don't know where this came from. And that's a big problem for me, because I want to get to the root cause of this, because if I can't get to the root cause of it, I can't really fix it. As soon as I was diagnosed, I moved to Florida, and I don't have health insurance yet, and that was in April. So I got diagnosed with it, and I never got any help for it yet, but I've been doing a lot of research on it, and there's not a lot of places that specialize in this. Even my psychiatrist was like, I need to do research on this, because it's kind of a brand new thing. I believe that it was discovered in 2013 for the name of this disorder. So even if I was a kid, like, and my parents took me to the doctor, like, they wouldn't have fucking known what it was, because it didn't even have a name for it yet. My entire life, I've had extreme anxiety towards certain foods, and this has led me to not eat the healthiest. It's led to very uncomfortable social situations, and it's one of the reasons why I like to eat by myself. I really don't like it when people make fun of my food, or like, you know, like if someone's like, oh, like, why is that on your plate? Why aren't you eating as much like at Thanksgiving? Like, I only eat 3 things at Thanksgiving dinner, and they're like, put more on your plate, you need to eat more. There were some points in my life where it did affect me nutritionally. I think I'm okay now. I'm eating a lot better than I was. I'm doing a lot better than I was. But there are certain foods that I can't eat right now, and I would love to heal this. I don't know if it's like curable. I think, you know, I can get better, you know, exposure therapy and whatnot, but I think that's what it's going to take. I need to do more research on it to like figure out how to fix this, because I don't want to go on anxiety meds, and I don't know, like, I've just been like this my whole life. So, and when I looked it up, there weren't a lot of people talking about it on YouTube, so like, if anyone can relate, maybe you didn't know you had this and maybe you do, or maybe you're just curious as to what it is, maybe you just are curious as to what's going on in my life, or maybe you have ARFID and you could relate to this. But yeah, I just wanted to explain kind of something that I've gone through my entire life. And it's weird because like I love when my videos have like a happy ending, like, oh, I got through this, but I'm not through it yet, and I've been struggling, and it's not really an ending yet for this specific thing, you know? Like, I was able to make a video on depression, of how I cured my depression. This isn't like that. I don't know how to get through this yet. I'm doing everything I can. It does affect me on a day-to-day basis. My only protein source is chicken and eggs. Yeah, I pretty much eat the same exact thing every day, which is why you've probably never seen a what I eat in a day video on this channel. You know, I've thought about doing those videos of like what I eat in a day, but it's like I eat the same 3 meals a day. I eat toast for breakfast. I'll eat Starbucks sometimes. I eat toast for breakfast with orange juice. My meals are very bland. I do not like a bunch of things inside of my foods. Like, when I get a sub from Subway, it'll be turkey, cheese, and mayonnaise. That's it. I eat very, very simply, like very simple foods. Sometimes I don't eat lunch. And then for dinner, I'll eat chicken and rice. And sometimes I'll have pizza, but maybe once a week. And I eat like a couple snacks here and there. I'm trying to get into eating a little bit healthier, and the way that I'm going into eating healthier nowadays isn't to be healthy, but it's to connect with the earth a little bit more and connect with nature, connect with the plants that were given to us on earth. So that's how I'm going about eating healthy. You know, I have carrots in my fridge right now. I love strawberries. Strawberries, bananas, my favorite fruit. Oh, one thing I don't like is seeds. I don't taste the seeds in strawberries, but like, oh my god, if I get a seed in my mouth, or soggy fruit, like when I order my like pink drink from Starbucks, if they put strawberries in it and the strawberries get soggy, I will throw up. Also, seeds in general, I do not want anything with seeds. I hate seeds. I hate like the peels on, I'm just getting into like all the things that I don't like of the textures. I hate the peels on certain fruits. I absolutely love the taste of grapes, but the pop and the peel on it, like when the peel is left in my mouth after I'm done chewing it, I literally want to like throw it up because I just can't swallow it, and it drives me nuts in my mouth. It's kind of the same with apples, but I think apples I can handle a little bit better. I'm like trying to get better with this. And then like any berries with seeds in it, I can't stand. Blueberries with the peel, love the taste of blueberries, but oh my god, like I literally feel like I'm gonna throw up if I eat a freaking blueberry. And I wish I liked these things. Like, I wish, like, it's literally just the texture. It's not the taste at all for the most part, but oh, and like really thin, like kale, like any thin lettuce that is hard to chew for me, that's just like left in my mouth and I can't chew. Like the only lettuce I'll really eat is iceberg, or like any type of crunchy lettuce I'll eat, but I hate the thin leafy lettuce. Oh my god, I just feel like it's not edible. I don't know, like I don't know why I'm like this, and that is the main part that I struggle with. I would love nothing more than to be on an all plant-based diet, be vegan. I When I was in high school, I was a vegetarian for a little bit, but I was a very unhealthy vegetarian, so I would just eat snacks that were not meat, and that wasn't good for me. But I would absolutely, like, I feel it in my soul that I just desire to be connected with the earth, connected with plants, and just be able to eat food that was grown from the earth rather than all this processed junk. I feel something in me that's just like, I need to eat right. I need to eat what's grown from the earth, and I can't eat a lot of those things because of this disorder, and it really pisses me off, because if you get annoyed by picky eaters, like, you're probably just watching this video and you're just like, oh, you're a picky eater, whatever. But like, no, this is like something I genuinely struggle with. I wish I wasn't like this. Like, it haunts me every day. I freaking hate it. This is why it's also very difficult to maintain friendships and like keep friends around that, you know, like to go out to eat, because, you know, a lot of friendships do depend on like going out to eat and like going and doing things, and like food is such a big part of life, and I wish I could enjoy certain foods, but like I've literally like gotten into, someone just set off a firework in broad daylight. I literally didn't get into arguments, but just kind of like there's like this tension between me and some of my friends before of like, oh, what does Kayla want to eat? Like, you know, we need to make sure we have a place for her, and I just felt like shit. Like, I just felt terrible. Or my friends would be like, come on, Kayla, stop being a baby, like, you need to grow up and eat these foods. These people are not really in my life anymore, but I remember my dad would always say this, and this was before he knew I had this, but literally, and I was a child, and he was like, you're lucky that my grandpa isn't around, because he would make you sit there until you finished your plate, no matter what it was. And he was very strict, and I just felt like that tension like all the time of like needing to eat the food that is given to me. Like when I went over to friends' houses, like it was so difficult. It would make me not even want to go over to friends' houses, because I knew that they would cook something that was like a normal meal, but I couldn't eat it, or I would just have an anxiety attack and cry. I don't know what is wrong with me. Like, I know I have ARFID, but like I don't know why I have ARFID, and that's the worst part, is not knowing why. So I think I've rambled enough about this subject, but yeah, this is the eating disorder that I have dealt with my entire life up until this point, and I am so ready to change it, figure out how to, you know, day by day, slowly but surely, hopefully I will get my body used to certain foods. Exposure therapy does help, however, it's hard. It's so hard. And like, if one day I want to have a good day and I don't want to have an anxiety attack, I can't eat a certain food, you know what I mean? So like, I've been eating carrots, strawberries, bananas, you know, just like little things here and there, implementing in my diet to help me with this. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you got something from it. If you have any comments about this subject, leave it down below. I definitely could do a what I eat in a day as someone who has ARFID, but like, it would literally be pointless, because I literally just told you what I eat in a day, and it's so simple and stupid. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more of my videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!